Welcome back to another episode of Peach Schnapps and Impeachment. Oh wait, this is Wine and Wine. Let's do that show instead. All right, guys, so we're obviously going to talk about the impeachment today, how the president was acquitted. I'm going to piss everybody off today, so I just want to start by saying that. I also say I love you, and I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. It's a great day to be alive. Now let's get this show started. So, as always, guys, first off, we want to talk about some wine. Today's wine is 2016 Napa Valley Cab from the Prisoner. If you notice the label, this is from Cuttings. This is the Cuttings one. 2016 is the vintage. Here's the deal with the vintage, guys. This one is 80% cab, and then it's got a 20% blend of Petite Syrah. Yeah, Petite Syrah, and Zinfandel. So you can definitely taste the Zin in it. I did give it a little swirly swirl and a sippy sip. It does need to open a little bit more. I've only had it open for about 2 hours in the bottle, and it's a 15.4% alcohol content. So it is a massive SOB. What's up, Adam? Cheers, buddy. So it's a big dog. That being said, that's about all I got for you. If you guys don't know anything about The Prisoner, it was originally bought from Oren Swift for a fuck ton of cash. So if you know who Oren Swift is, he makes that label that's behind me right there. That's an Oren Swift label. He makes a lot of the cool artwork and stuff for bottles. So just so you guys know who that is, that's who that is. He sold the Prisoner label to the Prisoner company, and Oren Swift then did his own again. So he's a genius when it comes to winemaking and when it comes to branding and obviously sales. So if you guys don't know who Oren Swift is, you should go look him up. He's a badass mofo. Now, that being said, guys, today I want to talk about the impeachment. And I want to talk about this for one reason, and one reason only, is because I want to talk about it not from the left, not from the right. I want to talk to you today about the party that no one talks about, which is the middle, and that, my friends, is where you and I, most of us, live. Now, do I have some friends and clients who are extremely on the left? Yes, I fucking do. I love them. So I got a guy from college that used to be a dorm room RA of ours who's one of my friends. He is one of the most anti-Trump, most hardcore left people I've ever met in my life. He's also one of my favorite human beings on earth. Why? Because I don't give a fuck about how you vote. It's not my decision to choose how you act. I also have some friends who are extremists on the right. It has nothing to do with my haircut or the fact that I'm white and have a beard. I just know them, okay? I got both on my friends list. They're both incredible, great people. I would never go to, I would go to the bar with all of them at the same time. I would just make sure I don't sit in the middle. I'd make sure I got a quick exit seat, okay? But here's why I'm gonna piss both of you guys off. I'm gonna piss both sides off because a majority of us folks, we live in this thing called the middle, and this is what I think a lot of people don't get, okay? A lot of people do not understand this. You're allowed to go outside, see how the world actually is, and then make a decision. Is the world better since 2017 from an economic standpoint or whatever standpoint you seem fit? Okay? And I'm going to address some of the State of the Union stuff because I did watch the full State of the Union. I watched live while Pelosi was ripping, okay? Like, I watched all of it, so I want to start off by saying this. I voted for President Obama. I voted for President Trump. I will vote again for President Trump. You can love me or hate me for that, but I'm going to tell you why. But first, I'm going to start by telling you why I voted for Obama, because I think that when I start talking about this, you're going to start going, yeah, isn't that how it's supposed to be? So let's go down that road, folks. But first, because this is a show called Wine and Wine, let's take a sip. So, why did I vote for President Obama? Well, when President Obama came into office, I was in college, my mom was broke as fuck, and I didn't have health insurance. But under the Obamacare, I could get health insurance until I was 26 under her insurance policy for free. So I voted for President Obama. Did I have any idea about any of his other policies? No, that was really the only thing I knew that would affect me personally, is that if he got in, he was gonna try to do X, Y, and Z. And the second thing was I really thought weed should be legal. And I thought President Obama would probably push the envelope on that. And guess what happened? We were right. Okay? Since President Obama took office, look how many states now are legal marijuana. I'm not saying Trump's against it. He's not. I'm just saying those were the two things that I really thought were cool, was healthcare and weed, okay? So I voted for Obama just based on what I thought he was going to bring to the table in those categories, okay? Now, why did I vote for President Trump? Well, I'll tell you guys, because here's what happened is once I started my business, okay, when I started my business, Obama was still in office. I tried to get health care for my people. If you guys are a small business owner and you know what I'm about to say, trying to get health care for your people under Obamacare was insanity. It was fucking horseshit. All the policies were trash. They were scamming people left and right. They were charging us a fortune to try to protect our people, and it was fucking wrong, okay? And once I saw that, because I had to go through the steps, I said, dude, I don't like Obamacare. I don't like how this works for small business owners. I want this gone. Well, obviously every Republican candidate wanted that gone, right, for reasons like that. But the second reason I voted for him was because of the tax benefits that a small business owner got, which, if you guys have followed me for a while, I'm going to explain to you exactly how this works so you guys know the exact numbers behind this. So, President Trump, since he passed the tax law, pretty much took, if you were a small business owner who made over X amount of money, he put $128,000 back into your pocket a year. If you made enough money. Obviously that number goes down if you didn't make enough money, but if you were pretty much at the capacity of making money, he put $128,000 back into your pocket. So obviously the healthcare thing made my life more affordable, put more money, and allowed me to help my team and give them better policies. The second thing being the tax break, and I've said this publicly, I voted for him because of this reason, but I also showed people what I was going to do with that money. So if you guys have ever seen our staff, right, when we first started very long ago in 2016, right, it was September 26, 2016 we first opened. In 2017, I tried to get health insurance, okay? Here's what happened. It didn't work. It was terrible. And I had to go through all these steps to get a shitty policy, right? It was just awful. So we've gone through all this. Now we have a great policy. We took that money, but it was two of us, right? There was two trainers. We ended up going to 3 trainers and an admin. I can run every location. We had 900 members, right, at the one location. I can run a gym with me, 2 other dudes, and an admin. Now, why do I choose not to do that then? Well, because the extra money that Trump gave us, here's what it allowed me to do, okay? What it allowed me to do was hire fat. So what that means is I could give my employees better benefits, I could give them more money, I could do more performance-based things because I took that $128,000 that I was going to save on taxes and put it back into my companies, okay? So I made sure that I went out and told people, hey, thank you for the tax break, President Trump. This is what I'm going to do with it. Now, I had business owners who said, fuck that. I've been in business for a really long time. I'm keeping this money. And again, I'm not going to tell you that's right or wrong. I'm not going to tell you what you can or cannot do with your money. I'm just simply telling you why I voted for the man last time and why I'm going to vote for him this time is completely different. And I'll get into that in a minute. But I just wanted to explain that to you guys so that you understood the logic that I used with my brain based on my world that I live in, why I would vote for somebody. Okay, so I want you to understand that ahead of time. Now, here's the real problem is social media. Social media is the problem because I have never, not ever, not once, been to dinner, been to drinks, been with friends, been out in public, and seen people actively hate and talk to each other the way that they talk to each other on social media when you get politics involved. It's fucking disgusting. In my world, if you talk to me like that in real life, I'll go to jail for 2 weeks because I'll just knock you the fuck out. And my lawyer will take care of me and I'll get out in 2 weeks because I have great lawyers. Now, he didn't get his guy off the murder trial for Seaver, but I've got a great fucking lawyer. And that's just one of my lawyers. I have 3 of them, okay? So, here's the deal. I have no problem punching a motherfucker in the face if he talks to me like the way that some of you guys talk to each other on social media. That's why people tend to talk to me in person very calmly, very rationally, and we have grown-up conversations because I'm not against that, and most people know that, okay? I grew up with nothing. I've knocked people out before. I've gotten fights before. They didn't last long. None of them. I'm not saying I'm a great fighter. I'm saying if we're going to fight, I'm probably going to know it sooner than you're going to know it, and I'm going to make sure that I win. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? So let's know that. Now, So talk to each other with respect, talk to each other intelligently. I've had several intelligent conversations with both sides, left and right. But let's go over some of the other things first, okay? Let's go over Mitt Romney and why I think people on the Republican side, or on the right side, who hate Mitt Romney, why I think they're fucking idiots. Here's the deal. He's allowed to vote however he wants. I think it's absolute horseshit that people are voting with their party solely, regardless of what they truly feel, because they're scared of losing their job. I think that's wrong. I think that's not what the government was intended to be when they made it. So, do I really give a fuck about Mitt Romney? No. Have I looked into if he's a scumbag or not? No. Why? Because I don't care. He's not in charge of my state. Okay? But here's the deal. Here's what I will tell you. He at least sat down with himself and said, you know what? This is how I feel. This is how I'm going to vote. Everybody else who's in the House and in the Senate are fucking sheep who literally just sat there and said, well, my party's going that way, and I don't want to lose my job by rocking the boat, so I'm going to go that way. Every fucking one of them. It's disgraceful. The point of having a democracy is that people get to use their intelligence. We're voting for people that we think are going to actually use their fucking brains and vote how we think they should vote, which is, hey, I want you to use these things called logic and reason, sit down with a glass of wine, ponder your fucking vote, and then go cast it. Not show up, ring-a-dingy-ding, because you're left or right. I think that's wrong. I don't think that's democracy. I think that's what's making the problem fucking worse. So no, I don't give a fuck that Mitt Romney voted however he did. I actually applaud him for having the sack to go against everybody else. Now I know everybody on the right's bashing him. Okay, I get that. I get that everybody on the right's fucking just annihilating him. I personally have zero problem with it. I think more people should be able to sit down and say, how do I actually feel about this? And then vote with their heart. And then at the end of their term, if people enjoyed the way that their heart voted, guess what they should do? They should re-elect the motherfucker. If they didn't like him, guess what they should do? Elect someone else. That's how I think the shit should work. The shit shouldn't work like this. He's a Republican. He votes with the president, even if he doesn't fucking agree. He's a Democrat. He votes with the president, even if he doesn't fucking agree. That's called being a sheep. That's called being stupid. That's called being ignorant. And that's called being wrong. And if you don't like it, the unfollow button's right fucking there. It is delicious, Karen. Now, let's talk about the other sandwich of stupid in this scenario, which is Miss Pelosi. Let's talk about that bitch for a minute. Now, I'm very European and Australian in my swear words, and I typically love to use the C word, but I know most of you Americans don't like it, and I want to fit in with you guys, so I'm not going to call her what I think she is. But it rhymes with bunt. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I think the way that she handled that was completely wrong, but I think what she really did was she fucked the entire Democratic Party. Now, the House already fucked you guys. Like, if I were you and I had a really good candidate, I'm telling you guys this as a friend, because I'll vote for, like, I love a lot of you guys. I'm telling you as a friend, I wouldn't put a good candidate up against Trump this year. I wouldn't do it. Here's why. The House just took our society, divided it in half, and what she did at the State of the Union solidified Trump's going to landslide win this next one. Because the way that she handled herself, being right behind the camera, all she did was piss people off on her side and definitely on the other side. Okay? She shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. That was ignorant. I guarantee you the person who slept the best the night after that was Trump. And like whoever Trump's campaign manager was, slept like a fucking baby after that State of the Union when she ripped that up. Because she just sealed the entire election in 2020. Don't believe me? Watch. I will bet you a historic landslide victory. I'm talking beat down from Mars that Trump just bashes every single stupid person they put against it. Okay? That's how I feel. Again, it's my opinion. You don't have to like it. That's just how I feel. I think what she did was incredibly fucking stupid. Again, so you can do whatever you want. Now, here's why I'm scared for the right. And here's why because a lot of people are like, oh, dude, like they're going to win the House, they're going to win the Senate. I don't want that either. I do not want Trump to control the House and the Senate. And here's why. In case you guys don't know, our system was built on this thing called checks and balances. Well, the problem is now is there is no checks and balances because they've proven that they will just vote blindly for their party so they don't lose their jobs. They have proven that. This entire last 3 years, they have proven that no matter if you're Democrat or Republican, they don't want you to have a brain, they want you to vote D or R. That's it. If you don't vote D or R, you're out, which is wrong, and I just talked about that. But here's what I'm scared of, is if the House goes R, the Senate's already R, and the president's R, there's zero checks in that balance system, folks. And that's what scares me, because I don't want Trump to have carte blanche either. I really, I'm gonna put this on record. I think he's an asshole. I'm an asshole. I relate to him. I think whoever controls his social media is you know what? Don, hire your boy. I will for a nominal fee, okay? I will for a nominal fee. Matter of fact, the salary that you're giving back for your presidency, I'll do it for that. I will gladly be your social media campaign manager. I will make sure that you cannot send a tweet without it going through Big Daddy. And Big Daddy will say, hey, maybe we're not going to press send on that one. And trust me, from somebody who's learned, pressing send can be a terrible thing to do. Be careful with pressing send, folks. And I would gladly do that for you because I love America. Okay? So, I just wanted to say that, throw that out there. If you guys think that's a cool idea, let them know. Shoot them a video, shoot them something. Let them know I got his back on that. I'd gladly do that for him for a small nominal fee. Now, how's our actual economy? This is one of the things that pisses me off. So I was in Target the other day, and this is why I wasn't really offended when he said all the shit about welfare, right? So if you guys saw the biggest uproar on Twitter and a lot of places after his speech was two things, and I'm going to cover them both. So the first one was that President Trump, typically when he says shit, he exaggerates exponentially more. Well, I want to explain why he does that, because this is a tactic, folks. This is something that if you're not intelligent enough to pick up on, this is something that he told you he was going to do. He did it a long time ago. I don't remember what year The Art of the Deal was written, but if you haven't read his book, The Art of the Deal, every speech that Trump gives is a game plan and blueprinted in his book. So here's what and I'm going to give you a real life example, okay? Because I did this to my wife. I trumped her the other weekend, okay? I call it trumping people, but this is what it is. So you know what you want to get. So what you do is you start exponentially further so that by the time they compromise you back down, you get what you wanted. Now, I'm going to explain how this works, because and guys, this is a great thing to do with your significant other or girls, whatever. Right? You can trump them. You can trump them. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you folks how to trump them. So, I didn't want to wear a fucking tie to our client party. Okay, we have a client party every year. We do a couple of them a year. I didn't want to wear a fucking tie. So, I started with, I'm going to wear jeans. I'm going to wear a polo. I'm just going to be comfortable. No, blah, 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 blah. Like, I started so far out, and then she got me into a suit. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll wear a suit. Okay, fine, I'll do this. And by the time we compromised down, guess what I didn't have to do anymore? I didn't have to wear a fucking tie. That's the art of the deal. That's the entire book. So when that idiot gets on stage and says, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it, it's not what he wants. All he wants is border control to be better. But he's going to throw the fishing line so far out that you fuckers are going to freak out because you can't read. Because if you could read, you'd have read his book and been like, man, how did this guy become a billionaire? Oh, because he's not a fucking idiot. Like some of you guys, like that's the only people who really piss me off, is when people are like, oh yeah, President Trump's a fucking idiot. He's been a billionaire multiple times. Yeah, he went bankrupt at one point, got it all back, plus and some. He is a smart businessman. And we're going to talk about that later. But please, do not be ignorant enough to think that you're smarter than President Trump. That motherfucker has forgotten in a hangover more than you will ever learn about business. So please, 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 please. You can say he's an idiot about a lot of things. You can't say he's stupid about business. He's literally made more than everybody in this chat combined times 10. Okay? I'm just telling you that now. So, I want to talk to you about the welfare thing that he said, because this is a big thing and I've seen it. So I was at Target a couple weeks ago. I was with Bryce, right? So my wife needed a break from the kid. I was like, Bryce, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go do man stuff. So we're going to go to Home Depot. We're going to get some Loctite. We're going to get some Gorilla Glue. We got to fix this. We got to do this. Let's go to Home Depot. Oh, yeah, Daddy Aaron, that sounds awesome. Cool, Bryce, let's go. Hey, Daddy Aaron. What, Bryce? Can we go to Target? For what? Well, I'd like a toy. You know what, bro? Yeah, we can go to Target and get you a toy. We had a good month. You get a toy. Let's go. So we went to Target. And of course, that little fucking YouTuber who makes more money than Tom Brady, Ryan, has his own toy line because he's fucking smart. And of course, the first thing Bryce sees is this egg with Ryan's stupid fucking face on it, and it's $40, but there's 9 toys in there. Guess what I had to buy? I'm part of the problem. I supported it. So I buy this fucking egg, right? So we got this egg. We're in the cart. We're going back up. I got my White Claw, got my Coors Light for the employee party we had for Super Bowl. So I got my cart with a 4-year-old, White Claw, Coors Light, and a fucking Ryan egg. That's all that was in the cart. YOLO, motherfucker. I'm living the dream. So first off, I'm beaten. Like, I'm winning. Like, I don't care. If you can go to Target on a Sunday, do that shit, life's good. Okay? So now we're standing in line. In front of me, in line, these people, this couple, with their 2 kids, grown-up kids, were buying $123 worth of fucking candy with their WIC EBT card. Fucking Sweet Tarts and Skittles. $120 worth of candy. Here's what's crazy. He was wearing $250 Jordans. I'll look past that. His kids were both drinking Starbucks Frappuccinos, the large side. I'll get past that. Maybe he had a great day, whatever. You can spoil your kids. I'm not against that. Here's what I'm against. How the fuck do we have people who are able to go out, go to Target, and buy $120 worth of fucking candy with government money? That's wrong. Now, could they be the exception to the rule? Are there actually people who fucking need that? 100%. I'll guarantee they are. I'll guarantee there's people out there who need that shit. But I guarantee you, out of the 10 million people that he kicked off welfare over the last 3 years, I'll guarantee you 80% of those people were fucking taking advantage of the system. Here's the problem, and this is what I hate. And these people, I don't fucking care about. I don't. If you're this person, I don't care about you. There right now is more jobs available in the United States than there are people to fucking fill them. That is a fact. Our unemployment rate is lower than it's ever fucking been. So if you have a half-ass work ethic, you can get a fucking job. So do I think welfare should then be at its lowest it's ever fucking been at if our unemployment's at its lowest it's ever fucking been at? Yeah, I would think those two things should be correlated. That would make a lot of sense to me. But here's the real problem, is how are we not figuring out how the fuck, like, these people should only be able to buy essential shit. Like, if you've got money for J's, Frappuccinos, and $120 in fucking Sweet Tarts, you don't need fucking government assistance, bro. You need a fucking education and a budgeting. You have a budgeting problem. That's what you fucking need. That's how I feel. If you don't like it, again, the unfollow button's right over there. Now, here's what I do want to talk about that I'm really actually very impressed with, and I do not think this was 100% the president. I think this was a lot of the activists and people like Ashton Kutcher and the multiple things that the awareness of sex trafficking has done. But the amount of sex trafficking since President Trump has taken over has drastically gone down. I give him 10 to 15% of the credit on that. I will give everybody else the rest of it. That being said, that scares the shit out of me. As somebody who's heard stories of like guys, like there's people who I've like talked to and they've like had encounters where they were going to get kidnapped or their kids were going to get kidnapped and like they were running for their lives and shit. Like that's the scariest shit on earth to me. As somebody who's a parent, as somebody who wants to have a daughter one day, like that. Like when you see Liam Neeson in Taken, like imagine that plus like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what I would do. Like, I would kill everybody. And you can film that clip and send it in, because I'm telling you, someone kidnaps my daughter for that, there's going to be people dying. People are going to die. I don't care. They're going to die. So that's just how it is. I think that's probably the worst thing that we deal with today. I think that's worse than disease. I think that's worse than anything. I can't imagine what it would be like to go through that with your kids. So I do applaud him for that. But I really do want to talk about this too. And this is something that I think you guys need to understand, no matter what side that you are aware of or tend to lean towards, is I need you to take into account what you really care about in the next 4 years of your life. 4 to 8 years, right? Sit down and really think about that. Because how our economy works, guys, I'm typically one of these people who focuses on the economy. Okay, the reason I focus on the economy is because I'm a business owner, and obviously the better the economy, the more disposable income, the more people will buy shit like my services, and the more people who buy my services, the better life is. That's very simple to understand, okay? So I want to explain to you a little bit how the economy works so that you guys truly understand this, because I think going forward, what you need to be aware of and what you need to be looking at going into this election, because I don't care how you vote, remember, I don't care how you vote. What you need to be looking at is the truth. If minimum wage, and I'm going to explain some of the things that are really big problems. So Bernie is a really big fucking problem. If you think Bernie Sanders is the answer to America, you're a fucking idiot. And here's why. What he wants to do to taxes, guys, for the ultra, as he qualifies them, the ultra wealthy, which I am not, so please understand, I am not. I am friends with people who are. Let me explain to you how an IRS agent works, because I know them. I know the people who do that. I am friends with one of them. I've been friends with one of them for 12 years. They get a 4-year degree whenever they go to college. That's the only continuing education they get. I want you to listen to that again. The people who work for the IRS, they get a 4-year degree. That is all the education a lot of them have. The people who do taxes for the ultra wealthy, they read tax law. They get 600, 700 certified. There's people who I don't even know about that get even certified because the tax code goes up to 8 and 900s, okay? People like Jerry Jones, Jeff Bezos, when you see companies like Netflix, and like there's a billion ways for them to find loopholes in every tax code, okay? So here's what I'm gonna tell you. Raising wages, if you raise minimum wage for people who get paid hourly, you know what's going to happen? The ultra rich aren't going to suffer and they're not going to pay more. Their lawyers are going to find a way around it and they're going to do layoffs. Who's that going to affect? The people who they're trying to fix. What's going to happen? They're going to be unemployed. The more of them that are unemployed, the more welfare goes up. The more welfare goes up, the more taxes have to go up. And that's the vicious cycle that we were just in. Okay? So when he says he's going to raise taxes on the wealthy, understand that what he's really saying is I'm a fucking idiot and I'm going to make poor people unemployed. Or I'm going to make entry-level jobs almost obsolete, and people are going to have to fight for entry-level jobs, and unemployment is going to go up. That's what that actually means, because here's what I will tell you 1,000%. The people who he's trying to affect are not going to be affected. They're not, because their lawyers and their tax accountants and everybody else are fucking smarter than them. And they're way smarter than the government, and Bernie has no fucking clue how actual tax accounting works. So here's what's going to happen. If you guys put him in, which again, no one's going to win this year, so you might as well stop. But if you put him up against there, and then he actually gets in, and he raises wages, and minimum wage, and he raises taxes on the ultra wealthy, what's going to happen is then it's going to be more lucrative for them to go back overseas. Okay, the reason jobs are coming back, and the reason this trade deal works, is there's a very delicate balance between wages, cost, the amount of taxing it would take if you outsourced your business, okay, and then your tax code. So this is a big balance act. This isn't, you can't just raise one without affecting the other. They're all integrated. So if you guys want to bring more jobs to America, cool, here's what has to happen. You have to have some type of trade in place so that and some type of laws in place and taxation in place so that if you're outsourcing jobs, it's a higher rate. But then at the same time, it can't be so high that it still wouldn't matter if the minimum wage was 17, but you can pay these motherfuckers in some other country 30 cents, but the tax is $8. Well, they're still going to make more money going over there. Do you understand that? Like, they don't give a fuck, okay? They don't give a fuck. They will go wherever the smartest play is and wherever the tax laws allow the best loopholes. You want to know why? Because they pay for those people, and that's how they got ultra wealthy. They didn't get ultra wealthy by at the end of the year, if they made $10 and they didn't give the government $4, even though that's what they owed them. They used every law in the book and put things in every place on the planet because they have the smartest people on fucking earth finding every loophole in the book, and they maybe gave them $1. So you're never gonna fucking get it. Okay? You're never going to accomplish what you're going to want. Here's who's going to get fucked. People like me. Every small business owner you know who doesn't have the money or the wealth or the income to be able to have these people on your side and to be able to have these people show you the loopholes, how you would do this, how you do this, and obviously who cannot outsource. So you're going to fuck local business. So things like Amazon, things like all these massive companies are going to get massively larger, and you're going to just kill small business. Small business will be dead. And then you're going to give them incentive to open business, but it's not going to matter because they can't compete because it's going to be fucking dead. Okay? That's how real shit works. So for those of you who think that the economy isn't where I play, it is. I 1,000% study the economy all the time. Because what's going on right now is they're trying to put more disposable income into the pockets of Americans, okay? What happens when you do that? Most Americans are going to spend that extra disposable income instead of saving it, okay? What happens when they start spending more disposable income? Businesses make more money, the economy makes more money, the stocks go up, everything goes up, everybody's happy. And this is a cycle. So again, it's going to cycle one or two ways. The problem is right now it's at a very good balance, okay? Because here's the problem with minimum wage, guys, is the people who need help don't make minimum wage. And here's how I know this, because I grew up with this shit. My mom, when we were broke and couldn't pay bills, was a mom of two by herself. We lived in a 3-bedroom apartment that we could not afford for $1,100 a month, could not afford it. We're broke every month, had no groceries, had no shit. I listened to her cry all night. If you read my book, it's in there. She made $12.75 an hour, okay? Minimum wage at that time, I think, was $7.50 or $5.75, okay? I remember when it was $5.75 because I used to work for that amount of money, okay? But I think it was around like $7 and $7.25, somewhere in there, and she made $12. The people who really struggle and really need help are the single moms, the single families, or the single parent homes who have multiple kids who make, even if she made 15, she would have been fucked. The problem is that guy wouldn't have hired 2 of them, and he would have only hired 1, and because my mom wasn't the best one, she would have had to go on unemployment, find a worse job, and the cycle would have gotten worse, okay? The people who need assistance are not the people typically who get minimum wage. The people who typically get minimum wage today are people just starting out in the job industry. So 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who are working entry-level jobs that a monkey could do, right? Like, those are the people who typically get these very low-end jobs. The people who need financial assistance are typically somewhere in between. They're not making minimum, but they're not really getting paid enough to make ends meet. And they have responsibility because of life circumstances. I know, I've been there, I've seen it personally. That's where the minimum wage thing does not matter. So please understand that if you raise that, all you are going to do is piss people off. And you're going to take all these people with money, and there's going to be layoffs, which means the unemployment rate's going to go up. If you raise wages, unemployment raises right with it, because people aren't going to hire people for that kind of money. They would rather do the work themselves and make all the money. That's the right that every business owner has. Because remember, guys, in business, if you're trying to do anything, the first place you can save money is labor. Period, end of story. The first and easiest place is to fire somebody. You will make that money back that next day. Okay? So please do not misinterpret that. If they start raising taxes, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to see everybody else get more money, you're going to see more people get fired. Because if you raise taxes, I promise you, like if you raise taxes on me tomorrow, I know that I'm heavy right now. I could fire somebody at every location. I could fire 2 at a couple. And I would make the same amount of money. And do you think I would be okay with that morally? It's possible. But I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's a lot of people way worse morally than I am who would gladly cut it and just pay the other people a little bit better to do a lot more work. That's what I think would happen, because we've seen what happens when they raise it, and that's what happened the last time they raised minimum wage, was unemployment skyrocketed. So the only reason I'm telling you guys all this is because I want you to think. I want you to figure out what's the most important thing to you when you go to vote next year. Because here's the deal. Like I said before, when I voted for Obama, it was healthcare, and I wanted to see weed get legalized. That was the 2 things I cared about, okay? So I voted for him. When Trump came in, I wanted healthcare for my employees, and I wanted the tax breaks, which I then turned around and pretty much gave back to hire more people and put on better insurance policies. Cool. I'll vote for Trump again, because when I go outside and when I see the life that I'm able to give my employees, and when I ask in my team meeting, hey, everybody who made more money than they made last year, put your hand in the air. And 85% of my employees are putting their hand in the air. I'm doing something right. I think the world's going in the right direction. I think my company's going in the right direction. Therefore, I'm not going to fuck with that. But if you don't care about the economy, and let's say you care about, you're very against pro-life or pro-choice or any of the, immigration or any of the other big issues, that would be what I would focus on, is which one's going to get you the result that you think is the most important in your heart. To me, the economy is the most important thing, okay? That's just how I'm wired. That means the most to me. It makes the most impact on me personally. So that's what I spend my time studying. That's what I look at when these different representatives come out of each party. That's what I'm, weighing on, is what's going to affect my life the most should this person win. And then based on that information, I make my vote. And I hope, guys, we've covered a lot of shit, but I hope that you're really starting to understand of, don't be left, don't be right. Okay? Do what's right, be smart, make a smart decision, okay? And make that decision based on what you think would be best for you in your life right now. Okay? Because really, I'm going to tell you this too. Whether Hillary was elected or Trump was elected, I'd still be right here. Whether Obama got elected or whoever the fuck he ran against got elected, I'd still be right here. Is this kind of stuff important? Is it important to know who runs the country, where our economic policies are, blah, 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 blah? I think so. I think it's 1,000% important that at least you're versed enough in it to understand it. But here's what I don't want you to understand. Here's what I don't want you to miss, which is none of it matters more than your work ethic, what you want, what you're going after, and how much you're putting into it. Because I don't think the president or the government at any level can truly control success. I think that if you really want something, you have every opportunity and right to go get it. And if you don't, it's 1,000% your fault. You can't blame Trump. You can't blame Obama. You can't blame the House. You can't blame the Senate. You can't blame Romney. You can't blame Pelosi. You can't blame any of them. It's your fault. So make sure that you talk to people nice. Make sure that when you're on social media that you're saying things that you would say to people in public, because a lot of you guys don't do that shit and you get punched out by a lot of people. Make sure that you're thinking about what you really want out of your candidate and what's really important to you. And then make sure you know the consequences if the other person wins and likely what they're going to do. And once you've got those things, guys, you're in good shape. You're going to have a great time. And as always, I promised you, I was hoping I pissed off both sides. Hopefully everybody's a little bit angry at me right now. If not, let me know what I can do for next time to really sink that dagger in for you. Otherwise, guys, have an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed a glass of vino while you watch this, or some Prisoner like I did, or a craft beer, whatever it is you're into, tequila, I don't know. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.